WFMU. The best show. 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 WFMU.
If it's 9 p.m. on Tuesday, that means it's time for the best show on WFMU. 120 minutes worth of mirth, music, and mayhem, hosted by the one and only Tom Scharpling. The best show on WFMU broadcasts each and every Tuesday night from the 24th floor of the WFMU broadcast building, overlooking beautiful downtown Jersey City, New Jersey. As always, the phone number is 201-200-WFMU. So call now. But please, refrain from dialing unless you've got something to say. My name is Ali Farinaki, and as always, thanks for listening. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Like the pizza box says, you've tried the rest, now try the best. Take it away, Tommy!
I had a dream about you. You were the queen of quite a few, and I was there, but you didn't care. I didn't matter somehow. The band played and you sang a tune, and the stars fell down from the moon, and you smiled a smile that parted the sea, but you didn't notice me. No, your eyes filled up the sky and they were blue, and you had a weird monkey there with you too, and he danced a jig and tipped his hat, and he turned around with a grin so fat, and he was me. There were lights and cameras and fireworks going off in your honor, and I was worried, but a man said, don't worry, nothing can harm her. And I grabbed the microphone and I stood all alone, and I looked up at you and you looked down at me, and then you said, off with his head. I had a dream about you. I hate
Heard about the people that stepped on you. Heard about the people you met. How you like to stay out until 5 in the morning, but now you say that you ain't with her. Why would I like to know that? Why would I like to know that? You saw a picture of your face and you said, who is that? Somebody hit you and you said, why is that? You said that you feel like you are running away, and now you think you better go back. Why would I like to know that? Why would I like to know that? 'Cause you've been looking better in every way, trying to throw those memories out, but your perfection disappears every day. As soon as you open your mouth, why would I like to know that? 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 Why would I?
All right. Hey, this is the best show on WFMU, and my name is Tom Scharpling, and I'm here each and every Tuesday night from 9 until 11. And it is Tuesday night, and it is 9:21, so that means that I'm doing my show, the best show on WFMU. The phone number, 201-200-9368. You can email me at any point in the show or at any point you want, period. Thursday night at 3 a.m., you can still email me at toms@wfmu.org. And it is open phones all night tonight. 201-200-9368. Hey, we just heard from Neil Haggerty from his album. Actually, he goes by the name Neil Michael Haggerty now, formerly of Royal Trucks and Pussy Galore, from his self-titled solo album, Know That. And I guess someone, doesn't sound too much like that song that I'd like to know where you got the notion. And I guess he knows that, and he had no problem. It's called sampling, I guess. Before that, Daniel Johnson from the Why Me live album, recorded in Germany. We heard I Had a Dream. By request before that, the Melvins from the Gluey Porch Treatments album, Heater Moves and Eyes, recently reissued on the Ipecac label. And starting us off, the Polar Goldie Cats from their new album, Polar Night Stress. We heard Supa Unchi. 201-200-9368 is the number. Anything you want to talk about tonight is fair game, but I would like to say one thing right at the top of the show. Thank you to everybody who pledged during our 2001 fundraising marathon. It was our most successful fundraiser ever. By 12:30 on Sunday night, the station surpassed its overall goal and hit $579,600. Thanks also to the great volunteers who came down and helped out during the past 2 weeks. People making food, working the phones. Thank you so much. Everybody who pledged will receive a payment form shortly. Standalone basic pledgers should receive their payment form within a few days. If you haven't received it already, Mouse of Today pledgers and multiple pledgers will not receive their payment forms for another week to 10 days. If you are a Mouse of Today pledger and have received bills for regular pledges, hang on to any forms you may have received and return them to us when the rest of your Mouse of Today information arrives. If you have any questions, call Volunteer Director Jason Doss at 201-521-1416, extension 229, or email him at jdoss@wfmu.org. Thanks again, everybody, for all the fantastic help. Hey, WFMU, you're on the air.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, good. Yeah, congrats on the marathon. It went really well.
Thanks
It was
a
a
lot.
lot of fun from the listener standpoint, too.
Did you pledge?
I did. I think I pledged to your show, but I don't know. I was doing a lot of those $10 sprinkle pledges. And
Well, we appreciate it, and I thank you personally.
It's sort of a fetish, the sprinkle, the idea of sprinkling pledges.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
I appreciate you sprinkling on us.
No problem. Hey, Tom, I have a question for you and sort of a quandary.
Okay, what's that?
Somebody was, I was talking to somebody, and they were mentioning the movie, that movie Dazed and Confused?
Uh-huh.
There's this, I haven't seen that movie in about 7 years.
Okay.
There's this song that's really, really wonderful. It sort of sounds power poppy, and it's got this really nice guitar lick. And I've been looking for this song forever, and I'm afraid it might be by Leonard Skinner.
Why don't you sing it?
It's just this riff that I know.
Well, just do the riff.
The riff is like this. Oh, no, 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 no. You know what I mean? Like a guitar thing happening at the end.
Is there any other part that you can identify?
I'm not sure, but I think it might be the song "Tuesday Is Gone" by Lynyrd Skynyrd. But I recently just started doing research on it, and I feel a little bit I feel a little bit dirty about it, actually.
Delving into the world of Southern rock can do that to people.
Yeah.
So you just
have
feel
any kind of solution or comment or anything you can say to help me?
I don't know the song.
I wish I could describe it better for you. It just got they get this guitar riff that's like da na na na. You know, well, I can't really do justice to it.
If anybody knows the song that this caller is talking about, 201-200-9368 is the number. Hold the line, my friend. I think maybe we have somebody who can help here.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
Hold on, let's check this out. Let me see if I can do this. I might have to pot my music down and say goodbye to that. FMU, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
That is the song. That's Tuesday Is Gone by Lynyrd Skynyrd. I'm kind of embarrassed that I know that.
And what's your name, caller?
I'm Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Can you hear that, my friend?
Yes, I can, yes. I'm a little embarrassed that I really love it. I absolutely love it.
Now, Sarah, are you a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan?
I don't identify as such, but I do have a Lynyrd Skynyrd album that's on that record. And it's a great movie, too.
It's a great movie, but
yeah. It's one of those situations where the movie kind of made me really interested in the song. And
I think that when you get that album, you will not recapture the mood that you felt when you saw it in the movie.
You're probably right.
I think that you will just feel completely isolated and wonder what you thought you were trying to get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, I hope that doesn't happen.
What album is it on, Sarah?
I have a greatest hits album. I think it's gold and platinum, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
So maybe you can find a used copy somewhere. Or something.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad paying.
There's that Napster thing, right? Does that still work?
Why don't you try Napster?
Yeah, is that still functioning well?
I don't know. Why don't you give it a try, though? Anything.
I think I will.
You don't want to put money in their pockets.
I don't. I'd rather.
They're all dead anyway, aren't they?
Pockets.
I don't think they're all dead. I think, but they if they're not dead, then I don't have any thing to say to that. Actually, I don't think they are dead.
Okay.
But so hey, what's new, guys? Anything else going on?
That'll do it. I think I gotta go. But
all right. Well, thank you,
glad to
Sarah.
help. All right.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
201-200-9368 is the number. Open phones tonight. Whatever you want to talk about. I do have a guest coming in for the second hour. Oh, we've got an author. Brad Lester is coming in. He, I guess, was a segment producer or the guy who does things for The Tonight Show, where he interviews guests, and then before Jay Leno interviews them. And, by the way, I just got an email from WFMU's own Monica telling me that Neil Haggerty song was Rock the Boat by the Hughes Corporation. I should have known that because they call me the king of disco around these parts, but Tommy did it again. He failed. 201-200-9368. Hey, that marathon was something. I'm tired from it. I don't know about everybody else, but I feel worn out. Like, because it's hard for everybody, but it really is appreciated. The work that everybody puts in, whether you pledge or whether you volunteer or whether you cook something for the people who are volunteering. So again, thank you very much, everybody. Let's get my music back here. Ah, that's more like it. What else did I have to talk about? Oh, I was thinking about doing another unfair record review. The record we were going to put on the unfair record review under the microscope would be the album by Tortoise, the new record called Standards. If anybody would want to hear that record unfairly reviewed, you got to contact me at toms@wfmu.org, or you can reach me at 201-200-9368. Oh, what else did I have to say? Oh, what happened to my head? I feel like playing another record, but I can think. Think, Tommy, think. You had something to talk to these people about. How about the weather today? How about that, huh? Oh. They all can't be winners. Sorry. Hey, just so you know, on Brian Turner's show next week, the King Brothers will be on. That's next Tuesday from 3 to 6 p.m. Japan's one and only King Brothers will be in the studio doing what they do so well, rocking out hard. So tune in for that. WFMU, you're on the air.
Hi, yeah, I'd love to hear an unfair record review of Tortoise.
Do you like Tortoise?
Not particularly.
Do you hate them?
I hate Trans Am, and they remind me of Tortoise.
Hey, why don't you stay alone? Why don't we do this together?
Yeah, I could do that. I'm actually at work. I got to leave in a couple minutes.
Okay, well,
10 minutes.
It'll be quick.
Okay.
We're going to do it right now.
Cool.
Okay, let's bring that down. Let's play the first song on this Tortoise record. Let me just see. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that now. Barely, though. Yeah, there it is. I feel like I'm supposed to cry.
It's kind of like Jimi Hendrix doing the Star Spangled Banner. I guess that's the point, because this record has a flag on the cover, like some abstract flag.
Right.
Of some abstraction of the U.S. flag.
Is it painted or a computer abstracted?
It looks like a little bit of. It looks more computerized, which is, I guess these. First of all, these guys are from Chicago, right?
Right.
So that means since they're doing Chicago rock, that means they suck, like off the bat, right?
They're bandwagon rockers.
And they're like computer guys, like they just run everything through Pro Tools and chop it up. It's like...
Are they able to do a live show?
I think they do it, but you have to download it. You have to actually...
While you're there?
You actually go in front of a computer screen, and and you actually download the show.
Then they're probably sponsored by Microsoft, so they could afford all those computers at their show.
Yeah, so what do you think of this song? Let's fast forward into this song a little bit.
Yeah, good idea.
Here we go. Okay, that sounds more interesting. Let me just hear that. Okay, that sucks. Ah!
I think they're trying to tell us that they're not that bad.
Hey, now they're funky.
Now they're funky.
Wow, check that out.
Well, I don't want to cry anymore.
No, now you want to dance.
I want to jump up and down.
Let's see what else is on this album. Oh, here we go. Here's like their computer stuff.
Oh my god.
That sucks.
That's terrible.
Can you imagine actually buying this record and then getting home and listening to this?
When people say they write songs, do you think these guys write the songs, or do you think they just mess around until, like...
I think they just mess around, and then the stuff that they come up with in real time is so uninteresting that they have to put it all into a computer and then somehow try to assemble something that seems like it's not completely sucky.
Right.
Listen to this. This sounds like the music when, like, the killer is in the woods looking at the family at the
or
house.
behind the couch.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, this sucks.
That's crap, Tom.
Let me check a couple more songs. Before we completely unfairly dismiss this record, I think it deserves a couple more. Okay, this sucks. Sucks.
Well, can you turn it up a tiny bit more?
Yeah. Listen to this.
It sounds like a
soda commercial.
You know that movie Fantastic Planet from the...
Yeah.
It sounds kind of like that.
Ah, sounds like a refreshing 7-Up. Somebody just opened the 7-Up. Oh, wait.
I like the wah-wah.
Yeah.
They've got wah-wah going for
They're
them.
really good. They sound, have you ever heard a less funky band?
Than Tortoise?
Yeah.
Maybe Trans Am, but I think that's about it.
Oh, listen to this. It sounds like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Greg Lake. Okay.
That's great.
Now this is kind of good. Listen to this. Oh, this sucks.
Let me ask you, did they give you that for free so that you could play it?
I have nothing to do with that. I don't involve myself in that. They put the record in the library. I unfairly review it. That's
part of your job description.
Just part of it, exactly. I don't even have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
I just have to do it.
Well, I'm glad you did, Tom.
Well, thank you for calling, too.
Thanks a lot.
All right, good night. WFMU, you're on the air.
Hello, is this Tom?
Yes.
Tom, this is Zachary Brimstead.
Zachary Brimstead?
You don't remember me.
No, I really don't. Who's that? Who are you, sir?
The king of barbershop rock.
Oh, wait a minute. You're the guy who you called, I guess, a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you were starting like some new barbershop group or something.
Starting? We became huge. Haven't you heard of us?
No. What was the group called again?
Well, I'd rather not tell you the name of that group because that group is over.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait, you were called Barbershop Sweat, right?
If you must say the name, that is true.
And
I'm calling to tell you about my new venture.
What's that?
Barbershop Punk.
Barbershop what?
Punk.
Pond?
Punk.
You mean punk? Oh, like punk music punk?
Punk rock.
Okay. Well,
punk.
What are you... You're doing... What is it? Barbershop punk? Because last time you were doing songs like... Who Are You? I guess is the last thing I remembered you...
Oh, that's so last year.
Yeah, I guess Who Are You really is so 2000.
Well, you know, the guys in the old group that I had, they wanted to play it safe, you know. And then I happened to see an expose on the program 48 Hours about punk.
Okay.
Oh, it just blew my mind.
About the music punk.
Punk rock.
You had never heard of punk until what? You saw it on 48 Hours?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's...
Have you heard of it?
Yes, I've heard of punk music.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of barbershop punk?
Not until now, no. This is all new to me.
Well, get ready for it, because I have a new group.
A new barbershop. So you are going to what? Meld barbershop and...
Punk.
And punk. Okay.
You know what we're called?
What are you called?
Anarchy in the Barbershop.
Anarchy in the Barbershop.
Yeah, I got a new group. Roger, Gar, Todd, and Unwin.
And those are the members of your group?
Yeah, I found them in Akron, Ohio. They were previously in a band called the Thrusting Squirters.
And though they play just regular punk?
Punk.
Punk.
See, they wanted to take it a step further, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we combined. We do great stuff. Have you ever heard this song called Skulls by the Misfits?
Yeah, I do know the song by the Misfits.
We do a great version of it. You want to hear some? Of course, it's just one voice.
And you sing for the group what? I assume you were the bass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear some of it.
The corpses all hang lifeless and limp, bodies with no surprises, and the blood drains down like devil's rain. We'll bathe tonight. I want your skull. I need your skull. I want your skull.
Wow.
What do you think?
That's truly awful. I mean, that really captures none of what the Misfits intended with the song.
Oh, well, how about this one, okay? I'm sure you may know this one. It's by the band Black Flag.
Uh-huh. Okay, let's hear
My
it.
War.
Okay.
My war, you're one of them. You say that you're my friend, but you're one of them, one of them. I might not know what a friend is, but all I know is it's what you're not, 'cause you're one of them, one of them. You're knocked out, aren't you? Hello?
I'm truly speechless at the sound of that, That was just...
How about this one? Here's one by the group Millions of Dead Cops. Are you ready? It's called Born to Die. You were born to die. You were born to fry. Your life's in a cage. Show your outrage. You're misunderstood. You did what you could. You made your try. You're born to die.
Wow. So that's, how do the members of these groups feel about this? Have you contacted any or heard from any of these people?
I've only heard from Henry Rollins.
Okay, and what did he think about your version of My
He loved it, but the other guy in the band, Greg Ginn, not into it.
Why is that?
Oh, he thought we were ripping him off.
Well, I mean, you're covering the song.
Oh, I know, but when our record comes out on Epitaph, I told him we'd shoot him some money.
Epitaph?
Mm-hmm.
Putting your record out?
It's coming out, probably.
What, a barbershop? Anarchy in the Barbershop is the name of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming out on Epitaph Records.
Probably.
And how did that come about?
Well, I just figure when they hear our demo, they'll put it out.
Oh, so it's not actually, you just are going on speculation that they'll hear your demo and put it out.
Well, how could they not?
Well, I mean, you were talking about when Epitaph puts it out.
You've heard the stuff.
Yeah, I did just get a taste of it, and it's really...
How about this one? You ready?
Uh-huh.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne.
Well, that's not really punk.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Well, actually, I beg your pardon. That I don't think the Police are anywhere near punk, especially by the time they did Roxanne.
Oh, you don't know your punk, friend.
I'm pretty sure I know my punk a little more than you do.
How about this one? Pump it up until you can't feel it. Pump it up when you don't really need it.
Yeah, see, that's new wave, actually.
Excuse me?
That's really far from punk.
You're just being difficult, and
No,
this reminds me of something.
What?
Do you know a guy named The Gorge?
Oh, yeah, I know a guy named The Gorge.
I met The Gorge last week.
Okay, and he's a...
at a radio interview in Philly.
He's an author that I had on the program.
Mm-hmm.
And how you interviewed him?
No, he was on right after me.
On an interview program.
Mm-hmm, WXDU.
Uh-huh.
He hates you.
Well, that's great. I'm not too crazy about you or him. 201-200-9368 is the number. It's open phones tonight, so if you've got anything to say, we are taking your call. Later in the program, I've got my special guest coming in who has a book coming out about The Tonight Show. Brad Lester will be on the show.
We'll be on there, too.
On where?
The Tonight Show. When our album comes out.
Anarchy in the Barbershop is going to be on Maybe you have to admit that hearing these songs done in a barbershop style is not.
Looking through Gary Gilmore's eyes.
It's not that appealing, really. Because a lot of the people who would like punk would not want to hear it done in a barbershop style, unless for a complete novelty, like to laugh at.
There's nothing funny about this.
There's really a lot that's
I
funny
can't
about
imagine your listeners think it's funny.
I'm sure my listeners are either they have shut the radio off in embarrassment, or for me for hosting the show, for you, for your just complete shame in ruining these punk songs, which do sound. You have to admit, even. They sound better with an electric guitar and drums and a bass, not a cappella.
Oh, that's so untrue. I think it's stripped to its barest essentials.
So you think you're adding to these songs?
Oh, I'm stripping them down to their barest essentials.
So you think that they're more punk?
And then taking it up a notch.
A notch.
Several notches.
201-200-9368.
You don't know your punk.
I know my punk. What's another punk? Have you guys performed out yet, Anarchy in the Barbershop?
Well, it's funny because we're banned from most of the places barbershop quartets play because we're too extreme. We went on a tour of Western Maine. Oh, we kicked them.
WFMU, you're on the air.
Is this guy a real barber, or does he just...
I don't think he's... Are you a barber?
Oh, no. Barbers are losers.
Now,
do you like wear a red and white shirt there and a little mustache?
Can you hear this guy?
No.
Hold on a second. Let me just make an adjustment here. See if you can... How about now?
Oh, I'm hearing a weird echo, but I love it.
Can you?
So you got a red and white shirt and a little mustache?
Oh no, that's so last century.
So like, what do you look like?
Dog collar.
You got a dog collar?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a choke collar or is it a
punk? It's punk.
Oh, you're a punk man, huh?
Anarchy in the Barbershop.
Anarchy in the Barbershop.
Are you ready for it? I don't think so.
Let me have it.
I don't mind your coming here, wasting all my time. 'Cause when you're standing oh so near, I kind of lose my mind. Yeah.
That is definitely not punk.
Oh, it certainly is.
The Cars are punk.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now,
where have you been?
Caller, are you a fan of punk music?
Yes, and that's like, my little brother's music when I was growing up. There.
Your brother's punk.
Yeah, and he wore like purple shirts and.
That's what I wear too, under the dog collar.
So you wear purple shirts and a dog collar.
Remember Cham's?
No, I don't.
It was a line of clothes at Chess King.
I don't know.
That's what we wear. Punk.
That sounds fantastically awful. FMU, you're on the air.
Who are you?
Yeah, she sounds like a how can I say this? Like a beefed up Harvey Feinstein.
I'm a punk. What are you?
And I could probably make better songs, better music with an enema. I mean, she's telling Roxanne,
You want to open for us? With your enema routine? We'll blow you off the stage.
Are you a singer, caller?
No, I'm not a singer. I mean, I'm probably a little older, and I've went through some of the punk like in the late 70s and early 80s, and then I got out of it only whatever cuckoo reason. But,
I found that once you're in, you can never get out.
Now, are you a punk fan, caller?
Oh, yes.
No, not you, the other guy.
Me?
Yes, you.
I still listen to my Dead Kennedys. I listen to my Sex Pistols, that kind of little thing.
Are you ready for this?
The everyday thing.
Tonight's the night that we drive the truck. We're going to downtown, going to beat up drunks. Your turn to drive, I'll bring the beer. It's the late shift.
She'd probably make punk sound good if she could probably sing like a Steve Howe album, you know.
She? I don't think this is a woman,
Well,
actually.
I'm trying to perceive her as a woman.
Are you a woman?
Lose this caller. He's a jerk.
I'm just being fair.
You're not being fair.
Well, I got an opinion. I mean, if you don't like it, I can understand that. That's fair enough.
He's entitled to his opinion, actually.
No, not on my beat.
201-200-9368 is the number. It's open phones tonight. We do have a caller who is the leader of a barbershop punk quartet.
Anarchy in the barbershop.
And so what kind of shows have you done?
Well, as I told you, we played primarily up in western Maine.
Mm-hmm. And what was the response? You said you killed up there?
Oh, they loved it.
Uh-huh. They loved it.
They went ape.
Like what sort of crowds in terms of how many people were you playing in front of?
Oh, upwards to 50.
50 people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's not that impressive, really. 50 people's not. That's not much of a draw at all.
You think you know it all. You know nothing about punk.
What was the first punk album you bought?
Oh, geez. Probably. Boston, Mass by the Del Fuegos.
Yeah, again, I would say the Del Fuegos really are pretty far from punk.
They're pretty raw.
It's more rock than anything.
You don't know Jack.
WFMU, you're on the air.
It's me, the caller from before. I know who this woman is now. Him. He's the alien from Liquid Sky.
What is that?
That's your punk for you. Watch the movie.
Okay. You hear that?
I don't understand it. What does he say?
He said you're from a movie, Liquid Sky. 201-200-9368 is the number. So tell me more about where do you see this group going?
Straight to the top of the Billboard charts.
I mean, it's kind of a fringe. Again, it's really more of like a novelty.
You're full of it. Wait till you see us play.
Well, are you going to be playing in this area?
We're hoping to play. A place called the Court Tavern.
That's in New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm. We'll blow you away.
And so it's you. Are you playing with these other guys in the band? They were a punk band?
The Thrusting Squirters.
And now they
play one of their records.
I don't know if I have any of their records here in the studio, but
they were called Fudge Monkey before that.
And they played instruments back then.
Yeah, but no more.
Now they just sing.
It's all voice. Oh, they're good.
And they're able to handle like the vocal intricacies of
they're not as good as I am, but they're good.
And how do these guys feel about are they on the same page with you all the way, or is this kind of like a novelty for them?
Well, I'm their leader.
Okay.
They do what I say.
WFMU, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi. I'm wondering maybe they could expand the concept to include like a barbershop speed metal, like a barbershop Slayer or barbershop Venom or something like that.
Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Oh, sure. I mean, Slayer?
Uh-huh.
They're kind of punk, aren't they?
I think that's more metal than punk.
Well, it's the same thing.
Punk and metal. See that again? I think you're. Are you kind of new to this kind of music?
Not at all, my boy. It's in my blood.
When did you buy your first punk album?
I don't think that's any of your business.
I mean, but if it's in your blood, I mean, have you seen seminal shows? I mean, did you see? Did you see the Misfits when they were?
No, I saw Sting on his last tour.
But again, that's not really.
He's the godfather of punk.
Sting is nowhere near.
He certainly is.
Yeah, he's really so far from being the godfather of anything other than like an adult contemporary kind of.
Oh, you're full of it. Millions of people cite him as the king.
Millions of the king of punk.
Punk. You got to go back to punk school.
Punk school.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll teach a course.
You can teach a course at punk school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look forward to first of all, I look forward to the formation of a punk school.
Maybe it already exists. You just don't know about it. Because you're dumb. Like the Gorge said.
So I'm too dumb for punk school.
Mm-hmm.
You
know you are.
201-200-9368 is the number. If you have any qualms about, I think that's a lot of people would be probably unhappy with you kind of desecrating these songs that are meant to be heard in a pretty straight format, which is guitar, bass, and drums.
People just need to open their minds.
So you're here to open minds.
Essentially, yes.
And what was your name again?
Zachary Brimstead.
Hold on a second, Mr. Brimstead. WFMU, you're on the air.
Hey, yeah, you realize you're being you're put on here.
Hey, can you turn your radio down?
It sounds very spacey.
You realize she's putting you on, right?
Who is?
Your guest there, the other caller.
Is this a put on?
Not on your life, son.
Is it?
I'm the real deal.
Of course it is. I mean, it's great. I'm having a great time laughing, but I mean,
do you like
I
what
can't
you've
believe
heard?
anybody's taking it seriously.
Do you like what you've heard?
I can say this guy has called before, and he did send a copy of a compact disc to the station of a band called Barbershop Sweat.
All right, well, he's having a good time.
But that's all hat.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Tom?
Yes?
I want you to destroy that CD.
Of Barbershop Sweat?
Mm-hmm. You need our new stuff.
Okay. Did you guys have done demos, you said?
Well, yeah, I'll have Epitaph send one over.
I'm listening to your radio.
WFMU, you're on the air.
I'm listening to this guy on the radio, and the songs he's singing, like that song with the punk songs he had before.
Yeah?
Like the Police?
The songs from Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I heard them before.
They're what?
They're the songs from Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the video game for PlayStation.
But they did exist as actual songs on actual records before the video game.
No, I don't think they did, though, Tom. That's where I heard them.
Also, the songs are not really punk.
What are they?
You people all need to go to
school. The other songs he was singing,
yeah,
they're more like the band he's in. It's more like a boy band, it seems, because they don't play any instruments.
Oh, son, you need to grow up and go to school.
I'm thinking more of the lines of like Coal Chamber and stuff. That's what I describe as punk.
Oh, jeez, Tom, you got to lose
this is where this is where I never thought it would happen, but I have to agree with this barbershop guy.
Because you know that I'm the professor of punk.
Because punk actually started in the 70s. Coal Chamber didn't start.
Wait,
punk.
What?
Caller?
Yes.
Punk actually is.
When do you think it started?
In the 70s.
Oh my goodness!
When did you think it started?
Sting! Ghost in the Machine!
That is not the start of punk.
Oh, I feel sorry for you.
I was going to say the same thing to you. WFMU, you're on the air.
Come on, 70s? Punk started in the 70s?
When did it start?
What about the Velvet Underground? What about, like, Link Ray? What about...
I'm talking about in the purest sense. I mean, obviously there are predecessors. I'm talking about as a cultural movement.
As a cultural movement, it probably started... Well, I guess, all right, they had the hippie generation in the late 60s. Okay, I'll give you that much. But
what about Sting?
I don't know about that. And Ghost in the Machines, wow, that's one hell of a punk record, let me tell you.
Oh, see, you're with
I don't know where to
me.
go from there. So, I guess I'll,
Would you buy an album by this group, or would you see them in concert?
Yeah, I heard they're opening up for, what is that band. Menudo?
Is that true?
That has not been confirmed yet. Like that, right? Not confirmed yet.
201-200-9368 is the number. WFMU, you're on the air.
Yes, I have a comment on what was spoken of before about the punk rock school.
Yes?
One, in fact, exists. I actually am headmaster. My name is Proctor Smith. I am actually the headmaster of the first punk rock school.
And where is this school located?
Sheffield, Massachusetts.
Okay. Well, is there a website we can go to for that?
www.sheffieldmassachusetts.com. And another thing with that, I'd like to point out that I believe that Barbershop Quartet, the application thereof, to the punk rock sort of...
Okay, look, this program is not meant for people to call up and do their comedy routines. We try to just actually take calls from people.
What is this, a joke?
I don't understand where that person is coming from. But it's not about people calling up trying to do some
lose him,
some lame bit on the radio. WFMU, East Orange, WXHD, Mount Hope, worldwide on the internet at WFMU.org. The phone number, 201-200-9368. I'm going to say goodbye to you in a minute because...
That's fine, because I need to go get laid.
With who?
Whoever. I'm Zachary Brimstead. I can just walk down the street and just snap my fingers. Like the gorge.
And somebody will come running. I find that hard.
Hopefully a punk maiden.
Because now...
With a mohawk.
You had described yourself to me the last time, and that image is returning now. You, I think you said you were pushing, what, 500 pounds?
Mm-hmm. I lost some weight.
How much did you lose?
15. I can fit into a quadruple XL T-shirt now.
Congratulations. That's something to be proud of. You can be punk rock's answer to Jared, the guy on the Subway commercials.
Mm-hmm. He's a hero to all of us.
To what? All of you fat people?
Girth impaired.
Okay. Well, I apologize for calling you fat. You're to everyone who is girth impaired.
You're just jealous because I'm punker than you'll ever be.
If you are the standard for punk, I hope in my lifetime I can never come anywhere near the benchmark.
I'll leave you with this punk number, okay?
Okay. One final thing.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and nothing at all? I am one of those.
Okay, I guess we got cut off there. Hey, this is the best show on WFMU. My guest tonight's show, segment producer Brad Lester, is going to be up momentarily. Why don't we hear some music, though? And the email address, as always, toms@wfmu.org. If you have any questions or comments, the email is live right now, so zap away. Here are The Who.
Her man's been gone for nigh on a year. He was due home yesterday, but he ain't here. Her man's been gone for nigh on a year. He was due home yesterday, but he ain't here. Down your street you're crying is a well-known sound. Your street is very well known throughout your town. Your town is very famous for the little girl. death.
Little girl guide, why don't you stop your crying? Here comes Ivor the engine driver to make you feel much better. Dirty old sod. That's it, steady on.
My name is Ivor, I'm an engine driver. I know him well, I know why you feel blue. Just 'cause he's late don't mean he'll never get through. He told me of doing no line either. So let's have a smile for an old engine driver. Let's have a smile for an old engine driver. Here he comes. Soon be home. Soon be home. Real soon. Soon, soon, soon be home. Real soon be home. Soon be home. Real soon. We'll soon, soon, soon be home. Come on, old horse. We'll soon be home. Soon be home. Dang, 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 I can't believe it. My eyes deceive me. In my back door arm, away from all harm. It's like a dream to be with you again. Can't believe that I'm with you again. I missed you and I must admit I kissed a few and once did sit on Ivor the engine driver's lap and they tow with him. Da-da-da. You are forgiven. You are forgiven. You are forgiven. You are forgiven. want me to smile, just keep it up. If you want me to smile, so expect it. You won't get it. I'm a pot man. I'm a pot man. I'm a pot man. Pot man. Pot man. Pot man.
Hey, this is WFMU, and this is the best show on WFMU. My name's Tom Scharpling, here with you until 11. We just heard from Pell Mell, taken from a CD called It Was a Live Cassette. 1982 live sessions of Pell Mell doing their thing in a live setting. We heard Some Things We Do for Fun, and this is on the Starlight Furniture Company record label. Before that, The Embarrassment from the Blister Pop album Podman. The Blister Pop record is a collection of live stuff during the Embarrassment's heyday, and it is put out by the My Pal God record label. And starting us off, The Who with A Quick One While He's Away. And that is the best version of A Quick One. And it's available on the Rushmore soundtrack is where I got it from. And I am joined in studio by a special guest. He was a segment producer for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And he is currently has a book in the works, or I guess it's not out yet. And his name is Brad Lester, and welcome to the show, Brad.
What's up, man?
Hey, well, thanks for coming down.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Thanks for having me, man. It's great to be here.
Well, so you were a segment producer for the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Yeah.
And what does that entail?
Well, it's pretty complicated. I mean, it's both simple and complicated. It's like you know how the Tonight Show has guests, and guests come on the show, celebrity guests, music guests, comedy guests, and they come on the show, and the segment producer is responsible for each particular segment. So we organize the segment, make sure Jay is informed as to what the guest is going to be doing, what movie or TV show or album he or she is going to be plugging, and then we if the guest wants to tell a particular story or a particular joke or a particular line of thought, we coach them through it, and then we tell Jay so he's informed, constantly informed, so he knows what's going to go on. So that's basically, that's basically what we do.
Okay.
As segment producers, we're dealing with the celebrities, and we're the liaison between the celebrities and Jay, and when the show's on, when the green light goes on, we're responsible for making sure Jay is on track with that guest.
Okay. So when did you start up at the Tonight Show?
I started with Jay about 7 years ago. So I've been doing it for 7 years, and I stopped about 3 months ago.
So it was only 3 months ago that you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To be quite honest, I started writing the book. So. Because I was writing the book and doing the show at the same time, it just wasn't working out, and I needed a lot of time to write the book, so it just seemed a better bet to stop working for Jay, which was a really difficult decision because he's awesome and the show is awesome, and I had a great run there, no question about that, and, no regrets being there. Left on great terms. It's just like getting this book out was the most important thing at the time, and I just felt like I couldn't do both. Couldn't do both. And just started another job recently, so now I'm back on, and fortunately finished the book. It was a quick write. I wrote it in about 3 days.
So you've written an actual book in 3 days?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing was, I had been writing the book for about 7 years before that. I've been keeping notes. I've been, I kept tapes. I did a lot of stuff with like a mini recorder. So I'd have, because pretty much all the great stories that I was compiling, I wanted to keep them fresh in my head. I didn't know I was going to write a book, but, I'm just thinking this is great stuff anyway. So I'm thinking, I'm going to, eventually maybe I will write a book, and it did come to fruition. So it just so happened that I had all this stuff ready to go, and it was basically just a matter of formatting it, putting it into, paragraphs and making it fit.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 days is a lot. You did a lot of writing in 3 days. Can I ask you to move in a little closer to your mic?
Oh, yeah,
also?
sure. Sorry about that. There
That's
we go.
all right. Okay.
Think of me. I'm in show business, and I don't know how far away
to go from a microphone.
Yeah.
Well, it's different at every radio station, I guess.
Yeah, so, like I said, it was, most of the stuff had been written, and, so it really was a matter of the 3 days was really, it was sort of a lot of organizing, a lot of putting together, so, it wasn't as bad as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like writing a book from scratch in 3 days.
Uh-huh. So what is the book called?
Well, the book, right now, the working title is The Tonight Show Confidential. The Tonight Show America Can't Watch. Behind the scenes of America's favorite talk show from the perspective of a segment producer by me, Brad Lester.
That's the whole title?
That's the working title, yeah.
Is that a little, it's a little long for an actual, that's the whole title of the actual book?
Well, yeah, the main title is called Tonight Show Confidential, and then, there's a subtitle, The Tonight Show America Can't Watch, and then there's a subtitle, Behind the Scenes of America's Favorite Talk Show from the perspective of a segment producer. I think it sums it up pretty good. And, it is just the working title. The book's not out yet, so we can make changes. It does sound a little long now that you say that. But, I think we could probably work with that. I mean, I think a lot of people have liked that title. People have read the book. And some of the people at Tonight Show who've read the book like that title. So, that's what I'm thinking of sticking with. But, of course, that could change.
Yeah. Hold on just 1 second. Let me just get this out of the way. FMU, you're on the air.
Yep, hi. I just loved your show.
Okay. Again, please, can we just hold, it's a talk show. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey, look, no big deal. So, yeah, like I said, the title may be a little long, but, we can maybe cut the last part out. I mean, I just want to get the whole idea of what the book is about, on the cover so that everybody knows what it is. And, I think that's really what it's about. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot to...
yeah, it is a little long, isn't it?
It's a little, but it's also... You're trying to get across the point of what the book is, though, I assume, also.
Yeah, I mean, Tonight Show America Can't Watch. I mean, I could probably lose...
I'm sorry I brought that up.
That's
sorry,
right.
That's not...
I could lose the behind the scenes of America's favorite talk show thing, but, like I said, it is the working title, so maybe we can change it, and try and, reduce it down to something a little more manageable.
So was it hard when you decided you were going to write a book? I mean, did you decide? You didn't decide, and then 3 days later you had the book.
No, I mean it sprung out from really just being a part of the whole experience of the Tonight Show, being a part of Jay's family, being a part of the everyday workings of a late night talk show, having to go on every night of the week, 5 nights a week, live show. Just and working with the celebrities one-on-one, So it was just a matter of I had all these great stories, and I had all these experiences that I had there, and I just felt like, people, it is show business, it is Hollywood, it's pure Hollywood. I think people want to know about what goes on, and I just wanted to tell some of the stories. I mean, I had them, and they were ripe in my head. And I wanted to get them out there, and I just felt like, it was a good time to do that, and I had them all ready to go, and I figured, hey, what the hell,
Mm-hmm. So,
and I'd been doing it so long, Tom, I'd been there, in the throes of battle there at the Tonight Show for so long that, it really was like ready to burst.
Mm-hmm. So you obviously had a lot of stories that you were itching to get out there.
Well, the Tonight Show is, I mean, I don't know if you can understand this, but it's a pressure cooker environment, and, there's celebrities in and out of there, and they're the most famous people in the world, and Jay's, running the ship. He's the captain of the ship, and it's just, it's interesting what goes on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I think, do want to know that, because a lot of people are not only just interested in celebrities, but they're interested in show business.
Yeah.
The workings of that, the inner workings of it. So that's, it's basically what I wanted to do is, I had a bird's eye view of this. I was there, and I figured I had a couple stories worthy to tell.
Yeah, well, I guess
so.
If
It's
you've
really worked out well, man. I mean, it's just like, it just came out so quick. And
I mean, can you tell us like one of the more choice stories from the?
Well, there's a million of them, And
well, what's one of your favorites?
All right. Well, I will tell. I'll tell a few.
Okay, yeah. This should be interesting.
Well, a lot of these things that, have already they're outlined in the book, and which, of course, is not yet. We haven't got a publisher yet, but we're working on it. A real funny story comes to mind. Russell Crowe just won the Oscar.
Yeah.
He was on a couple years ago back, not for Gladiator, for the previous movie he did. And Russell came on, and Russell's a pretty quiet guy, right?
Yeah, that's it. He's pretty...
He keeps to himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, it was my job. I got to go into Russell's green room, and I got to see if he's okay, and I got to find out what he wants to talk about, when he's going to plug the movie. Does he have any other stories he wants to tell?
Mm-hmm.
And Russell is, very, very soft-spoken guy, so that was tough to begin with.
Yeah.
Just prying what he wants to say was tough enough for me. And, but that's my job. I got to go in there and do that.
Because some people are more
some people are more open.
Some
Some people bring things they want to do, things they want to say, stories they want to tell. They go over them with me. We punch them up. We bring in some of the writers.
So you'll actually punch up stories that people.
Sure. We've punched up many stories, and I've done it. I'm on my own there, pretty much, unless I call in some of the writers. In which case, if there's a long story, we need to shorten it, condense it. We do that, and we do that with the writers. But anyway, Russell.
Okay.
Is a smoker. He smokes cigarettes. He smokes like Camel, no filters or something. It's crazy. And so Russell comes in and he said, I want to, I'm going to be smoking, and I'm like, well, we're not really equipped for that. First of all, Jay is deathly allergic to smoke, so I can't have Russell Crowe out here. Now I'm getting into what I do. Okay. All right. Now I'm thinking I can't tell Russell Crowe that Jay Leno is allergic to smoke because I don't want to bum him out. I don't want to make him upset. I don't want him, I don't want to ruin his segment by saying, look, you can't really smoke out there. I'm thinking I got to.
So he was looking not to smoke.
Anyway, I got to accommodate Russell is my whole point. And I got to figure out a way by which Russell can smoke. Now granted, we can't have Russell smoke on air.
No,
that doesn't happen anymore. All right, that happened maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah,
not anymore. Can't do that. So I'm like, Russell, you're not going to smoke. Russell's not an idiot.
He knows you don't smoke on
He knows you can't smoke on air.
Okay.
Well, what Russell wants to do is in between commercial breaks, he wants to have a smoke. He wants to have a cigarette. So I'm like, Russell, I can't have you. Well, this is what I was going through inside my head. I'm thinking, all right, what am I going to do here? I can't have Russell smoking a cigarette in front of Jay because Jay will go ballistic, and probably, I don't know, bleed out. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's allergic to cigarette smoke. That's my job. I know Jay's allergic to cigarette smoke. I know I can't have people smoking around him. I know that because I know Jay. All right? Now, Russell wants to smoke. Russell Crowe's on Jay Leno's show. Russell Crowe is a major superstar. This guy, if he wants a cigarette in between breaks, I got to get him that cigarette. He's got to have that. And I know this. That's important to him. I want to accommodate him. I want to make him comfortable on the Jay Leno show, on the Tonight Show. I want to make it a great experience. And, i.e., I want to make it a great segment. All right? So, ends up, Russell goes on. I'm thinking, this is all before the show. This is like an hour before the show, and I'm in a complete panic. I don't know how to deal with this. I can't tell Jay, because he'll, like I said, he'll go crazy. He'll say, I can't have Russell Crowe smoking around me. I'll get sick. I got to do the rest of the show. Brad, you can't have him smoking. And I'm like, so here's my dilemma.
Okay.
So we end up figuring out a way how to get Russell to smoke. We set up this little system that hooks up to Russell that, he can turn his head and smoke, and he smokes out, and we pump the smoke out into the sides and into the wings of the show, so that Russell smokes. Told Jay ahead of time, this is what we're going to do. There's going to be no smoke.
Okay.
There's going to be absolutely no smoke, but Russell's going to have a cigarette. He's going to enjoy a cigarette because he's a smoker, and he's got to have one. I don't know why. I didn't ask. But he's got to have one. So he has his smoke in between. He did 2 segments. And he had 3 or 4 cigarettes in between. It worked out perfectly. Thank God. I probably would have lost my head if that didn't go well. But Jay took me aside after the show, said, Brad, thank you very much for handling that. And, that was just like one of the stories that happened. So Russell Crowe's a smoker. Jay just happens to be allergic to smoke. I mean, these are things you almost can't, you can never predict. You can't write about them, but I did.
So that's one of the That's one of the better stories in the book?
Well, there's a similar story that came up. Gina Gershon. I don't know if you know her. She's an actress.
Yeah, she was in
the movie Bound
and Showgirls.
And Showgirls, yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah,
super talent, unbelievable talented actress. So Gina Gershon wants a glass of wine.
Okay.
Before this is outlined. This actually got at least a half a chapter. Gina Gershon wants a glass of wine. Now, granted, Tom, look. I've been working around celebrities for 7 years. I've actually been working around celebrities for 9 years.
I should mention, by the way, my guest is Brad Lester, the author of the book called The Tonight
Show Confidential.
Okay.
Right?
Tonight Show Confidential, and you were...
The Tonight Show America Can't Watch, behind the scenes of America's favorite talk show from the perspective of a segment producer, me, Brad Lester.
So I'm sorry to interrupt your story, but...
What was I talking about? The Gina Gershon story. Oh, yeah, so this is pretty incredible. So... Like I said, I don't know Gina that well. I mean, I met her once at a party, and I met her that night, of course, and we were going through what she was going to talk about, and this was part of her press junket for Bound. You know, so she came on. Now, she is a wine drinker. Now, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
She's not an alcoholic. At least I don't know her to be. I don't think she is. I think she just enjoys a glass of wine. And she enjoys a glass, apparently, of white wine, Chablis. She pulls me aside and says, "Brad, can I get a glass of wine before I go on? I'm a little nervous. I don't love doing talk shows." And of course, Tom, this is my job. If these are major celebrities, but this is not necessarily their cup of tea. They used to doing movies or TV shows or performing in a band or at comedy clubs. So they're not exactly, they're not necessarily equipped to do panel on a talk show. I got to prep them and make sure they're comfortable. So Gina Gershon wants a glass of wine. I'm going to go get her a glass of wine. But we're not zoned for wine. We don't sell alcohol. We can't sell alcohol legally. We can't provide alcohol legally for our guests. We're just not zoned. So now I'm thinking, what am I going to do here? How do I deal with this? Gina Gershon wants a glass of wine. I want to get her that glass of wine, but how am I going to get her that glass of wine? We don't have wine here. I got to go out and get it, or I got to send an intern out to get it.
Okay.
Or can we do it? These are the things that run through my head at the time. All right. Now, granted, this is about 3 hours before we go on tape. Gina had come in early to shower and get makeup. Now she wants a glass of wine, and now I'm like, I don't know what to do.
So this is for just backstage?
This is backstage in her dressing room, in her green room. She wants just one glass of Chablis,
And that was that much of an issue?
Well, look, there are rules. There are rules at NBC, there are rules at The Tonight Show, and there are rules in America. I cannot provide alcohol for someone with NBC becomes liable. You know the whole deal. It's like... I can't really do that because it's against the rules. I could bend the rules. That's my job. And this is what I'm thinking.
So how did this end up?
We got her a glass of wine.
Okay.
And she had the glass of wine, and she was great. We ended up going out, right, buying a bottle of Chablis.
Okay.
Chilled. We had to go out. We had to go to a liquor store, right? And we had to drive over to Studio City to a liquor store. Bring back a bottle of wine, open it up, pour her a glass of wine. Gina Gershon sat. This took like a half hour, so now we're like down to the wire. Well, I got 2.5 hours before Gina goes on, before the curtain opens up, and you see Gina Gershon, and I'm like, it's just.
So these are the stories that. Is this like a day in, day out kind of story?
This pretty like that kind of stuff would not necessarily happen every day. If it did, I'd be dead by now. Because I'd be having a heart attack or something.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to survive that on a daily basis. But that did stuff like that.
So
stuff like what I just told you about happened very frequently. I would say like once a week, twice a week. Look, here's another example.
Okay.
This is actually a pretty devastating story, right? Delroy Lindo, who was an unbelievable actor, fantastic actor, who was in the movie Clockers. He was doing press for Clockers. Delroy had not shaved before he came on. Now, which I thought that was the look. I thought Delroy was just like, well, he didn't shave. He looks cool. He's got an unbelievable purple shirt on, with white slacks. He looks great.
Okay.
He didn't shave. It's like, it's a rough look, whatever. It looks great. Delroy, you look great. He's like, right before, I want to shave. Now, typically.
You mean before he walked, like before
when I was
walked
going
out on stage?
When I was going through his segment. No, this was probably.
Which is like how much, like, the show tapes at what, like 5 o'clock?
5:30.
Okay, and.
Delroy came in pretty early that day. I think he came in around noon because he had lunch with Jay. So he had lunch with Jay, and then I met with him earlier than I typically would have met most of the guests. Sometimes I do my segment production stuff probably about 3 o'clock, between 3 and 4. Guests come in around 3, maybe. Depending on the guest, Delroy came in early because he and Jay had lunch at the commissary together. So I see him maybe about 2:30. He tells me, I want to shave before the show. Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fine. Go to, because look, we have wardrobe, we have makeup. They're going to shave him if they want. If Delroy wants to shave, he's going to get a shave. So I call over on the phone to makeup and say Delroy's going to come in for a shave. 10 minutes later, I'm not done. 10 minutes later, Delroy comes back. I'm sitting in the green room, eating a banana or something, waiting for Delroy to come back after his shave. Delroy comes back. He looks horrified. I'm like, what's the matter?
Okay.
He's like, I couldn't shave. And I'm like, why? Because they didn't have a bump shaver. Now, I didn't know what he was talking about at the time, but apparently there's a special razor that deals with razor bumps. Now, I don't have razor bumps, so I don't know about this.
Okay.
Makeup didn't have this. And he's like, I can't get shaved unless I have this particular razor.
So what time is this now?
This is about, I would say, when he told me it was about 2.
So you had like 3.5 hours lead.
I had about 4 hours before
he would actually step out on the stage.
To get a razor blade that I've never even heard of.
Yeah. Okay.
To get a razor blade, I don't even know what it is. I didn't even know. When he looked at me with this horrified look and said, I need a bump shaver, I was like, I laughed. Because I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What's a bump shaver? And he was like,
so how did this end?
We got him the bump shaver.
What time did you get him? Like, was this
like 4?
So he still had another 2 hours.
But then they had to get the bump shaver to make up, shave him. This is kind of the stuff that I sweat.
This is really, these stories are. I thought when we heard about the book that things might be a little more.
Well, I'll tell you something.
A little more hard-hitting.
And here's something more show-oriented.
These are more just like everyday. I've got stories like this about me.
Well, here's a story that actually happened to that. The actor Chris Noth. He plays Mr. Big on Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Chris Noth comes in, and now this was about 4 years ago, I would say, 4 or 5 years ago. Now, Chris had just left Law and Order. I didn't know the details of why he had left Law & Order. Apparently he was fired. Now, I didn't know this. Now, Chris wants to talk about his firing from Law & Order. Now, apparently at the time, he and his producer, Dick Wolf, were not getting along. Chris wanted more money. I don't know the whole situation. I only had about a half hour with Chris to talk about it. Chris tells me, he says, Brad, I want to discuss my firing. I'm like, oh boy, red flag. All right? I didn't say that, of course, because Now,
Law & Order, I guess, is an NBC program.
Law & Order is an NBC program. Dick Wolf is a huge producer on NBC, good friends with Jay. Chris, I don't know if he's good friends with Jay. I don't think he is. Jay usually would have told me that beforehand, before I went in. So I don't know. I'm in the dark. He says, I want to go in and tell a story about how I got fired and how Dick Wolf basically screwed me.
Okay.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
Right away, red flags are going up. I'm like, Chris, what can we, okay, I understand. He's in a head right there, is what we call it. He's in some head. He wants to get out his anger on the Jay Leno show. It's my job to try and steer him away from that, make sure he doesn't depress a nationwide audience of millions of people about how he got fired. Not to say that it was wrong, maybe Chris Noth had a legitimate gripe. I don't know. That's not my job. What my job is to make sure we have the most entertaining segment. I don't want to get him.
So how does this, I mean, if you can, what happened on the segment?
He did not tell it.
So that's kind of.
He did not tell it.
Now again, you're saying that are these the top shelf ones? These are your top shelf stories?
These are some of the stories that happened when I was, look, and there's a lot of stories that went on, Tom. I mean, there's a lot of inside stories that went on that I don't know about. I was a segment producer. When I'm in a room with Chris Noth, who's a major celebrity and a major star, there's other stuff going on. I mean, there's associate producers, there's directors, there's writers, there's there's Jay's assistant, there's prop people. There's a million different things going on all at once. This is a huge machine.
But you've got to realize that a story like that, I mean, it's interesting to a certain degree.
All right, here's one.
But it might not be.
This is a pretty funny story, actually, that I felt I have my job on the line.
Okay.
On this one.
Okay.
And look, Jay is great. There's no question about it. Jay is a great man to work for. Jay is an unbelievable talent. Jay is a super professional. Jay runs this show like I've never seen before. He's amazing.
Okay.
All right? And the fact that we may not necessarily get along.
Okay, well, who is the... Okay, you may not get along with who?
Jay. I mean, we're not the best of friends. We don't go out afterwards. But, look, I worked for the man, and I worked for the show. I worked for the show first, the man second.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there was no animosity between us.
No.
Well, but I'm just saying sometimes things get a little heated.
Okay.
And especially because you're taping a show every day, and it's got to come off great because everybody is watching. I'm not just talking about the networks, but I'm talking about America.
It's a popular show.
One time, David Arquette, the actor David Arquette?
Yeah.
He's unbelievably funny. He's hysterical. This guy had me in stitches in the green room before he went on. And I'm thinking this is going to be a cinched deal. David, you're on your own, man. That's basically what I was saying. Like, you're doing great. Just don't get nervous. He sweats a little, which had me a little concerned because, but that's really not. Of course, I told Makeup this, not in front of David, but I told Makeup this at the time. Like, can we handle it? And there's stuff they put on him to make him perspire a little less.
Okay.
Not get that shimmer, but he gets it on his shirt too. Which is a constant thing with a lot of the celebrities, Robin Williams included. So, in any event, David blurts out, like right before I'm leaving, I'm like, you're set, you're done, you're great, it's going to be great, you're going to have a great segment, perfect, everything you said is hilarious. He blurts out, like, as I'm walking out the door, I want to enter on a skateboard.
Okay, now this is...
All right, now I'm like...
Before you left what?
This is right when I'm walking out the green room.
At what time?
I don't know, about 1.
Okay, so...
Maybe like 1, or I don't know, it was probably after lunch.
Okay, so what was the outcome?
Well, I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do? Oh, wait, well, I said, first of all, I was just, like, reeling. I was like, what? And you see my expression right now.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm just like, no, this can't happen now. Like, I almost just got out of here without a major incident. He gets on. He says, I want to enter on a skateboard. And now you don't even know how problematic this is. First of all, we got to get a skateboard, then we got to get clearance. We got to make sure. It also it brings up liability issues. What is he going to fall? Is he good on a skateboard? Can we, like I said before, can we get a skateboard? Can we make it so it's easy for him to enter on a skateboard? Can we get everybody?
Okay.
And Jay loves surprises.
Okay.
But Jay also loves to be in on the surprise. See what I'm saying? Because he's a total professional.
So it's like a surprise.
So what I was worried about was, like, he said, David Arquette says, let's surprise Jay with this.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, I can't do that because I got to tell Jay that David wants to come in on a skateboard. So
your allegiance was in it.
If Jay sees David enter on a skateboard and he didn't know about it, he could flip his wig.
And
you'd
be the one he'd flip it at.
Yes, definitely. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to say, like, well, how do I cut both ways with this? How do I tell David Arquette, that's a great idea, which is what I do, of course. I'm like, that's awesome. You want to do it on a skateboard. I can't show my feelings to David Arquette because it's like a war. You know what I mean? I can't. It's very much, I gotta hide my fear of what's going on because I don't want to upset David. I want to have, like I said before, I want him to have a great segment.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking, this is all in the book, by the way. I'm thinking, well, all right, here's what I got to do. I got to tell Jay. I got to make sure David doesn't know I told Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's so great, he can act like he's surprised when he's not surprised.
Okay, so
he will pull it off. I know Jay will pull it off.
So he'll feign
He will
surprise.
feign. He's great at that.
Okay.
I mean, and he does that on a daily basis.
Mhm.
He feigns surprise on a daily basis. You know those conversations that you see every night?
On the street?
No, the conversations
the
he has
actual- with guests.
interviews with celebrities.
Yeah, uh-huh.
He knows everything he's asking. He knows pretty much everything they're going to say because I tell him.
Yeah. So he's good at it, is what you're saying. And
Right.
then
What appears to for the basic viewer is that Jay is, actually, and he is interested.
Yeah. So how did this skateboard?
He's not. I'm not saying he's uninterested in what they're saying. I'm saying that he knows what they're saying, and he's making it look like he's heard it for the first time.
Yeah. So how did the skateboard thing play itself out?
He
then?
came out on the skateboard. We bought him a skateboard. We had prop people set up a way by which he could get in through the curtain without getting caught up. We had to make sure we had to pull the curtain another 3/4 of the way back, which took about an hour to rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to rehearse this, by the way, Tom, without Jay there. So now I'm talking about we have about a 1-hour window to rehearse David's entry on a skateboard into the main area.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
Before Jay comes in and rehearses the comedy bits and the monologue.
Yeah.
So I got about an hour to rehearse with David before Jay even gets wind of it.
So that way everybody.
Yeah. And this is the kicker is that this can't go to tape. All rehearsals go to tape. Jay's in his office watching the tape of the rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to cut off tape. So I had to get the director involved so that we could cut off the rehearsal tape.
Uh-huh.
This is pretty hilarious, which I actually ended up writing about in the book.
Okay.
That very day, about 4 o'clock, no, I'm sorry, about 3 o'clock, right before we finished rehearsing the Arquette entrance with the skateboard, Jay comes out and says, "What's going on with the tape?" Because he's seeing color bars.
In his office,
Yeah.
on the monitor.
So he goes up to Liz, our director, and says, "What's going on with the rehearsal tape?" Now, I got to make sure, and luckily I'd thought of this. I tell Liz beforehand about this whole thing so she could put in color bars instead of the rehearsal tape. So it's pumped into his office, and he's watching color bars. He's wondering what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Liz makes up a whole story about how the machine got screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, that's that. He ended up coming out on the skateboard.
So that's so
and then I had to, of course, after that I had to tell Jay that he was going to come in on a skateboard.
So the book is this stuff, more or less. The stories are on par with these.
Well, how many did I tell? I mean, I told
like 5.
I told
Sounds very funny.
WFMU, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air with my guest.
Yes, it's very interesting. Some of these stories are quite funny. I had a similar problem yesterday, actually. I ran out of shampoo in my shower. And I was stumbling about blindly because I had soap all over my face. And the cold water turns on. I did not know what to do, really. So finally I managed to get
Is there a point to this, though?
This was in your house?
Well, yes, I got to the sink eventually, and I washed it off. Washed it off my face.
Okay. 201-200-9368. We only have about 7 or so minutes left in the program. If you've got a question for my guest, Brad Lester, who is the author of a book called Tonight Show Confidential. What's the subtitle to the book again?
Oh, The Tonight Show America Can't Watch, behind the scenes of America's favorite talk show from the perspective of a segment producer by me, Brad Lester.
Now,
these are just like, what I did was try and give a random sampling of what some of the stories are. They're not all necessarily similar in vein, but I mean, look, when you're on the show and you're doing, I mean, I can understand what the caller's saying about the shampoo. The big problem is that, to me, that's not very interesting. But put that same story in the context of the Tonight Show, it's worthy of writing about. I mean, because of the pressure cooker environment that we had to deal with every day. And that's what I'm trying to really get across. Like, this isn't just about a couple of fun stories and about a couple of inside stories that people don't know about, some of them exposing celebrities, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, there's no question. I didn't pull any punches. When I write about Renee Zellweger wanting a particular type of water, you know, before her segment, it has to be Alpenrose. I'm not a huge Zellweger fan because of that, you know, because she was very demanding. And she wanted a particular type of water. Granted, she's unbelievably talented. But my interaction with her was such that, well, look, okay, you want to get the water. I got to know, go do this. I got to get this. And this is, you know, 4 hours before taping. I got to find Alpenrose. I don't know what that is.
Uh-huh.
It's like the bump shaver thing.
So you say you're not pulling any punches with these stories. So, I mean, you're telling the stories as they happened. I'm not saying that you're covering up details or you know, censoring yourself on these details. It's just the actual.
This is the way the stories happen, and it's much more involved than what I just told you. I mean, I gave you sort of an amended version of all the stories.
But I mean, I'm saying that the stories themselves, actually, the actual stories, are not. I mean, are kind of commonplace. I mean, they don't seem too exciting. Usually, when somebody hears about a show business book, like the word confidential being in the title,
right,
you think it's going to be just a variety.
Well, I mean, look, I don't think David Arquette is going to be particularly thrilled with the idea of me telling that story to America.
Mhm.
I don't think Delroy Lindo is going to be thrilled with the idea of me revealing that he uses a bump shaver and that he demanded a bump shaver. I don't think it's a bad thing that he uses a bump shaver. Some people have razor bumps, some people don't. Some people need different products than other people, and some of those people are celebrities, Tom.
We have a call coming in here for Brad Lester, author of Tonight Show Confidential. WFMU, you're on the air.
Hi, Brad.
Yeah?
I have a suggestion. If you can't find a publisher to pick up your book,
Not yet, although we're working on it.
right? I remember you said that.
We're pretty close.
Barnes & Noble offers a vanity press where you can pay like $99 and they'll press your book for you.
Wait, we pay $99? I pay $99?
Oh yeah, they have a whole bunch of different programs. You know, like $1,000, they distribute it for you and everything like that. Just a suggestion, you know.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to need to be paying anybody to publish the book. I think that the publisher's going to step up and offer a lot of money to buy the book.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you anyway.
Wait.
WFMU, you're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, good show, man. But the stories are not real dynamic, but you know.
Well, you got to read the
every-
book. It's in the context of the book, but you know, which hopefully will be coming out soon. And when you read the stories in the context of the environment that I was in, I think they're going to pop out as a little more interesting. It's tough to sit here for an hour and tell. You know, no offense to Tom, who's running a great show here, not too unlike Jay, by the way.
Really?
And you
Well, that's a compliment.
You even look a little like him. There's a similarity.
That's a compliment, too.
Yeah. But, you know, like I said, it's tough to get across everything that's in the book in an hour. You know, if you read the book, you know, you'll understand that these stories are a little more dynamic.
WFMU, you're on the air with Brad Lester.
Yeah, hi, Brad.
Hey.
Listen, I'm really enjoying the show.
Okay.
I really can't wait to read the book.
Yeah, it's
What I'd like to know is, do you go into any details about the back of Jay Leno's desk? You know, because you never see that on the TV.
like what's on it or what's in it.
We just lost him.
That's an interesting question. No, because I'm dealing with the guests. I don't know what I know what he keeps on the desk. You know, because pretty much everybody knows that because they see it on TV. I don't know if he keeps anything in it. I don't think he does. I don't know.
WFMU, you're on the air with Brad Lester.
Yes, hello. I saw a very funny...
Okay, stop it. WFMU, you're on the air with Brad Lester.
Yeah, hey, Brad, did you ever have to cop any drugs for some of your guests?
To cop any drugs?
Yeah.
Like marijuana or...
Yeah, you know, the usual Hollywood superstar stuff that they need.
Well, there was... Well, it's difficult to say, and I didn't write about it in the book. But yes, I did once. And it was,
Really?
It was cocaine.
And who was it
and
for?
It was Jim Belushi.
Really? Now, this is
Yeah.
not in the book?
No.
Why is this not in the book?
Because, to be quite honest with you, I didn't feel that it was appropriate to write about it in the book.
But see, this is the kind of story I thought that, this would be the kind of thing would be kind of, when you put a title across, this is the kind of interesting thing, like The Tonight Show Confidential. That sounds like the kind of thing that we would want to hear.
And there was a case where someone was raped backstage.
Oh, my God, really?
Right before a show.
Now, why?
I didn't write about that either.
Why would you not?
Well, because, to be quite honest with you, I wanted to tell the more interesting stories and the stories that I felt that had some of the bigger celebrities involved. Jim Belushi is not a major A-list celebrity. I think getting Jim Belushi cocaine was not an interesting story necessarily. I thought doing cocaine with Jim Belushi is not really an interesting story. I thought Jay doing cocaine with Jim Belushi was not that interesting. I was there. I did cocaine with Belushi and Jay. I witnessed the rape.
No.
There was no question about that, but I didn't write about it because, to me, quite honestly, the everyday stories that happen in the show were much more interesting and much more readable.
Brad?
Yeah.
The show is over. Is kind of over now. We're running into Small Changes show here, and it's see, these are the things that I think everybody. I think I speak for everyone when these are the stories that we thought we would be hearing, and
well, I mean, those things I don't think are that necessarily important. I mean, the Kevin Pollak Malamar story to me is way more interesting than the Jim Belushi.
Well, what's the Malamar story, real quick?
That is actually, it's a pretty funny story. Kevin Pollak, as you know, actor, comedian, impressionist, hilarious guy. He wants to go out and do a Malamar eating contest with Jay because he knows that Jay's favorite cookie is a Malamar. They're friends, apparently. So he wants to go out and bring Malamars. Now, I am in the throes of I don't know what to do. I got my head spinning about this because I can't do product placement. I got to call Malamar, right? I have to call the corporation, and there is no Malamar, by the way. Malamar exists, but it's part of another corporation called, I don't know, I can't even remember. Nabisco.
Now, this is in the book?
No, I have 3 days to do this because Kevin had called about this. So I got 3 days to find out how to get in touch with Nabisco, how to get Malamar approved, how to get approval for this. This is 3 days before Kevin Pollak comes on. We go live to tape. So I don't know what to do. And it ends up that finally I do get in touch with Nabisco. Nabisco is not, like I had predicted, is not upset about doing it. They don't care. They actually thought it was a great idea.
Now,
and ended up FedExing us Malamars, like hundreds of boxes of Malamars, which Kevin Pollak went on. They had the eating contest, and it was hilarious. I'll send you a tape of it. But
now, why this is in the book, though?
This is that is definitely in the book. That's like chapter.
But see, that's like no interest.
7.
I mean, no offense, but that's the kind of thing that's of no interest to pretty much anybody when compared to the
Jim Belushi thing, the rape, and Jeff Bridges died on the Tonight Show, which is.
What do you mean Jeff Bridges died?
He died on the Tonight Show.
Well, Jeff Bridges is still alive.
He isn't. It's not him. It's not him. It's not.
And this is not in the book, though.
This is not in the book. Jeff Bridges.
What?
We were doing Prop was doing a mold of Jeff Bridges' head, and Jeff Bridges suffocated about 2 hours before the show.
No, why?
He suffocated in this mold. Apparently, Prop had this polyurethane mold thing to put his head in. They were going to do a gag with the second Jeff Bridges because you know how there's so many Bridges. You know how there's a lot of Bridges. There's Lloyd Bridges. There's Bo Bridges. There's Jeff Bridges. They were going to do this thing where there's another Bridges, and it was a mold, a full feature length mannequin mold of Jeff Bridges, and they couldn't get his head out of the mold, and he died.
And you chose not to put that in.
That is not in the book because, look, I wasn't there when they made the mold.
But you have to understand.
I wasn't there when he died. I don't know the details. I mean, I wasn't privy to it.
But that's infinitely more interesting than a Malamar.
I can understand that maybe the fact that Jeff Bridges is dead and there's been a duplicate Jeff Bridges going around for the past 4 years, acting in movies and doing public appearances, is interesting. All right, but look, I'm telling the story from my perspective, which is of the perspective of a segment producer. So it's a whole different ballgame, Tom. I mean, I wasn't.
Well, I really, it's your book. It's your vision, and I would
I understand
seriously,
your point. I understand your point, but
I would seriously,
to be quite honest with you, I have one agenda, and that's to tell the stories that I think are worthy of telling from the perspective of a segment producer.